Well, you had to know the Lakers were going to get their payback, or at least try to, and they certainly did. After the Bulls beat them at Crypto.com Arena, the artist formerly known as Staples Center, they came into the United Center, beat the Bulls 121-110. Bulls have lost two straight now. Still got a decent cushion, I'd say, for the 10th seed, but there's still a lot of things going on with the Bulls on and off the court that we're going to talk about in today's episode of Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. I'm your host, Nick Schultz, alongside my partner, former Bulls bench mob member in Tennessee Vol, C.J. Watson. C.J., always a lot going on with this team, but 6 games left. There's quite a bit happening here as we enter this final couple weeks here.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things happening, the last few games, just like you said. But, the Bulls got to find a way to get it together and pick it up and try to find a way to play their best basketball heading into these playing spot if they get it.
I mean, the schedule right now, we'll talk about it later, but there's only a couple of matchups that really scare me in terms of okay, well, I'll be surprised if they win, and they've surprised me before, but I don't know if it happens again. Cool. But 6 games to go. Things are flying, playing tournaments around the corner. We're going to dive into a lot with this team after I tell you about our friends BetOnline.ag. BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for the Final Four and championship game taking place down in Houston this weekend. Nobody predicted this Final Four, at least I don't know anyone who did. And that's so much to bet on with NCAA. There's also baseball. Happy opening day. We're recording this on Thursday, opening day today. BetOnline is your college basketball and baseball headquarters this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. Get that 50% bonus at BetOnline. It's where the game starts. If you had Aaron Judge anytime home run to start the season, you are a happy human being. Also, we have an official t-shirt of our show, Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, exclusively at shop.believe.com. There's a lot of great stuff there. I have an order coming in next week. That's a tease. Stay tuned. I'll debut it on the show. A lot of great stuff to support all the shows on the network, but official t-shirt of our program, Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Dance, shop.believe.com. The link is in my Twitter and Instagram bios. So Pat Bev called LeBron too small. We had our laughs. I thought it was fun. Really enjoyed it, but you knew there was going to be something coming when the Lakers returned to the United Center, and that happened. 121-110. You had D'Angelo Russell and, Reeves did it too. Like, all right, well played. Well played, Austin Reeves. Well played.
Yeah, for sure. The Lakers have definitely got their payback. That didn't sit well with them. Pat Bev, doing hand gestures and coming back to crypto and winning the game at that, but also just talking trash, and it being all over Instagram and social media the next day, and them having to hear about it. So they were definitely getting ready for their payback. And when you talk trash to one of the best players in the world and the best players ever, he's definitely going to have his team ready. He's going to be ready, that's what they did.
Yeah, they came out ready. And by the way, Pat Bev in the rematch against the Lakers, 0 for 5 shooting, no points. And I will not even talk about how bad the plus minus was. It was last check, it was like minus 32 or something like that. It's like, damn. No starter was in the positive. Bulls got out rebounded 45-32, 13 offensive boards by the Lakers. That's the type of game when you're coming out for payback, you're going to come out firing, you're going to come out fast. And the Bulls had to be ready for it. Everybody knew this was coming. But to do that in a big way, credit to the Lakers.
Yeah, all credit goes to the Lakers. But like you said, you can't talk trash. And I think for the Bulls to be successful, they have to have that scoring mentality. Not scoring mentality, just some kind of scoring help from the Pat Bev's position, the point guard position, especially with Lonzo out. But, you can't go talking trash and knowing that the same team is coming back and you go over. And that just doesn't sit well with me. I'm sure it doesn't sit well with Pat Bev either. But you just can't do that as a competitor and as an athlete. You got to go in there knowing that this team is coming out for blood and they're coming out to wreak vengeance on you and just make you feel bad. And that's what they did.
The first quarter was all Vooch. And when I say all Vooch, he had 13 of the 20 points in the first quarter. I think he had the first 13, actually. I think that's how it worked out. It was Vooch's game, but Big Man had 29 points. It seemed like they kind of got away from him a little bit. They tried to shoot, but guess what? You can't shoot. I think they should have kept feeding Vooch. But again, there's defensive differences there. I was also working during this game, so I was writing stories, couldn't watch the whole thing to attention to detail. But, one of those, put it in the bank and move on. You're in the last 6 games here. Got a couple game advantage on the 10th seed, but a big question mark here Andre Drummond, and this is going to be a big discussion here. He tweeted out that he's changing his phone number. He's going off social media for a little bit. And then Billy Donovan announced that he's out for the Lakers game for personal reasons. So the big guy's got a lot going on here. I mean, first of all, before with anything else being said, wish him all the best, whatever he's going through. Mental health's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal. You got to take care of yourself. But I want to get your perspective as a former player when you're balancing you hear a lot from the fans, you hear on social media, you got to balance, go play your game, tune out the noise. And there's a lot that you have to deal with and your own personal life too. What's that balance like?
It's tough because everyone thinks athletes' lives are perfect because the amount of money they're making, the travel, the luxury lifestyle that they're so-called living. But it's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said, they're viewed upon as perfect, and it's hard to go out there and live a perfect life. No one's life is perfect, but I think at this time we just want to support and put love around Andre Drummond and just let him know that we're here for him, we care for him, and just want him to be healthy mentally and physically. Most importantly, mentally. And for me, I think just I tell my daughter all the time, as she's played in sports, just to be happy and have fun out there. I don't want to put any added pressure on you just because your dad played in the NBA. I don't care if you go on to play, be an Olympian or you don't. You stop playing today. I just want you to be happy and just go out there and have fun with it. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But you definitely want to support Andre Drummond and anyone going through mental health because it's a real issue.
We've seen this around sports this year. I think it was Patrick McCaffrey at Iowa stepped away to address his mental health. I mean, closer to my realm at Loyola Chicago, St. Thomas stepped away, focus his mental health. Like you've seen at the college levels and you're seeing it at the NBA level here too. It's a serious thing and it's a tough balance. Like as a fan and as a reporter, like, yeah, Andre Drummond would have helped tremendously in
Yeah.
this game. Like they missed him, but I just go back to it. He's got to take care of himself. There's that balance that you talk about there.
Yeah, there's so much balance, people positive and negative stuff on social media, in real life, in person. People saying you might be walking down the street, you have a bad game, people saying you suck, obviously you try to be tough and all that kind of stuff, but it gets to you at the end of the day. You still got to go home and, be with your family and stuff like that. So, like I said, mental health is a real issue, and just wishing him the best of luck and anyone out there going through it.
I've made my jokes about Andre Drummond this year when he's missed a couple dunks. I mean, it's all in good fun, but there
Yeah,
are people, you've got the other side of the coin that like, oh, how'd you miss that dunk? And they're serious about it. Like
right.
it's a game. When all's said and done, it's a
Yeah,
game. Yes, you're making a lot of money to play that game, but you've still got to focus on up here. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's way bigger than the game. Like you said, people. These are everyday people and human beings that really take pride in what they do. And like I said, it's way bigger than the game, and that's all we want to do is just support them.
Definitely. And all the best to the big guy. I mean, yes, with 6 games left, I mean the timing of it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
from a game perspective, just got to put the business hat on. Like, yeah, you're entering this final stretch here. You still got to hope he comes back. If he can come back and help you out, great. But you've got to
right.
make do without him. And if it means going small, and Billy Donovan had a really good breakdown in his press conference. And it's one of those I wish I could play like the clip here and like hear him describe it about what the Bulls need to do when they go small. It goes back to like defend the paint, get on the block, and they're going out too far to the perimeter, letting up offensive rebounds. You have to adjust for this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you run a small lineup, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You got to adjust. Small lineups might mean to being out rebounded more. With only one big guy out there, so definitely want to play fast. You can play faster with small lines, but you're be compensated on the rebounding aspect. So just puts more pressure on your guards to rebound more, but also gives you, if your guards do get the rebound, they can just get it and push it which leads you to play faster. So it's a pros and cons to everything, but just got to find the right lineup to where it works for this team.
And for the love of all that is good in the world, box out. Please box out. Io had one last night. I mean, I watched it. He stood there and I don't know. I can't remember who it was. Was it Vanderbilt? Whoever. He didn't block him out. He went and got the putback. Like, no,
Yeah, yeah.
box out. You're a small lineup. You have to put extra emphasis on boxing out, please.
Yeah, that too. And I think for me is the 3-point shooting. They were 9 for 30 something, I think, yesterday. And
It
for
was
me, it's
bad. You
just
can say it was
yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. It was. I didn't want to say that. You took the words out of my mouth.
It was
But
bad.
for me, yeah, for me, it's just like just play to your strength. Obviously the new NBA is getting threes up and shooting a lot of threes. But if you're a bad 3-point shooting team, don't just keep jacking them up and just causing more havoc on yourself. So play to your strength, and your strength is in the post through Vooch and through the mid range. Just play through that. You know, if threes come and then you're open, shoot them, but don't just go out there just jacking them up just to say you took 33s in the game and you made only 9. So
The mid range is not dead. I keep saying
right,
that. There are people who think that
yeah,
you live and die by the three. No, the mid range is not dead. That's why DeMar DeRozan is still as high level of a player as he is. By
yep,
the way, the Bulls were 9 for 33, Lakers 7 for 20. Lakers scored 121 points, shot 23s. Granted, they
right,
went 24 for 30 from the free throw line, but you know, you don't have to shoot that many threes if your strength, like you said, is mid range and the paint,
yeah,
whatever. Like, do that. And Zach took a lot of long twos. I noticed he seemed off. And I mean, it could just be yeah, a down game. It happens. Everybody had a down game. It seems like I said, no starter was positive plus minus. And Pat Bev was minus 32, by the way. That was his final. Like, and plus minus is it's a flawed stat. You can't just
yeah,
go off
yeah.
that. But I
But it still
mean,
tells a lot.
exactly. It tells you what you need to know. I mean, watching that game with my own two eyes, I could tell you Pat Bev had a bad game. Well, the numbers
Right.
show that too. Like, I mean, Zach was minus 24. He struggled, and that happens. But you got to have other guys step up. I thought Kobe White did a good job off the bench. He's playing at a
Yeah,
really high level on both ends of the court. You've got an interesting decision on him. I want to say he's a restricted free agent now because I didn't pick up his option. I
yeah.
feel like with the lack of shooting weapons you have to bring him back, right?
Yeah, yeah, you got to keep him. He's your only, decent 3-point shooter besides Zach. But yeah, he's been playing good the last few games, and just want to keep this rolling for him and also for the whole bench and for the whole team. You want to be playing your best brand of basketball, trying to go into this play-in tournament and hopefully you can win 2 games and get that A spot.
Yeah, definitely, and that'll help tremendously with a potential playoff run. And Iota Sumu's been up and down as expected for second year player this year. I thought he
Yeah,
played well against LA. Patrick Williams still kind of seeing those tendencies where he'll
yeah,
fake too much and he'll won't be as confident. Like I feel like that'll come. This offseason is going to be big for that. Next year, I
yeah,
mean, you've already predicted a big year for him. I don't
yeah,
want to say make or break, but it's as close to it as you can get. I think he's going to be a key piece even in the play-in tournament too. Like you need him to step up when guys like Zach are struggling and your point guard struggling and Pat Bev.
yeah. Especially if you're not getting any scoring from the point guard position, you got to have someone else scoring and filling that role. So definitely, hopefully that can be him. And yeah, like you said, you just want to be playing your best brand of basketball going into the playoffs, and hopefully that confidence will kick in these last six games.
They've got some favorable matchups too. I mean, they have 2 games remaining, one against Memphis, one against Milwaukee. Those are the two that scare me. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, with Ja Morant back for Memphis, you wonder what's going to happen. I mean, that's a good rebounding team as well. And Milwaukee, what else can you say? First of all, it's on national
yeah,
TV. You know what happens when the Bulls play on national TV. Then you
right.
got obviously Giannis that speaks for himself. Other than that, the rest of the schedule, I mean, in no order, you got Charlotte, Atlanta, Dallas, Detroit. We're going to talk about Dallas a little bit. That's an interesting, to say the least, situation. But you've
Right.
got some matchups here that you can exploit and just
Mhm.
give yourself a cushion at this point because you're the 10 seed right now. Just give yourself a cushion and don't collapse.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You want to definitely go in, and your mentality should be just going to win all 6 of these games. Hopefully, when they play Memphis or Milwaukee, they don't play all their good guys, all their top guys, and maybe they'll sit them. Maybe who knows? But if they don't, still go out there and compete. And like I said, be confident playing your best brand of basketball, and hopefully you can get 6 wins and just like I said, just roll into the playoffs, on a win streak.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a hot team, look at the Celtics last year. You had a red
Yeah,
hot team. Look what
yeah,
they did. And yeah,
yeah,
they're 2 seed this year. It's kind of rolled over to this year too. But yeah, 2 game advantage on Washington right now. You're 2 games behind Atlanta and Toronto. So that Hawks game is going to have big play-in implications. I love it. Sounds so funny to me talking about, oh, it's going to have play-in implications, but that's
yeah.
where we're
It
at.
is what it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah,
exactly. You play the hand you're dealt. Like it's
right.
got play-in implications in that game. Like opportunities have been the word all year. Right now, the fact that they've got this 2 game cushion here, it feels to me, and I could be way off on this, feels like they're in the driver's seat. They control their own
Yeah.
destiny.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, any team with a chance to be in the playing tournament definitely controls their own destiny. It's just what like we've been saying this whole year. It's all about opportunities. Are they going to take advantage of the opportunity, or just let it slide away to the side? But hopefully they can learn from this season and rebound and really kind of rewrite this whole season and make it better.
And make some additions, obviously, going forward too. Like
Yeah, yeah, for
they should
sure.
have made more this year, but What do I
Hey,
know?
we're
But
not the GMs.
you're more qualified for that than I am. I mean, you
No,
put
I
that
wish.
GM hat on, you're Nostradamus over here. I mean,
I wish. I just call out. I see it. That's all I can do is just be honest with you and know the game of basketball.
yeah, I sit here. I'm an armchair GM. I sit right here, and I'm like, okay, you can go get that if you do this. I sit here. I do that with football too. They have like PFF does the mock drafts. You can make your own. I'll go
Yeah,
through. I'm like, okay, I can force this trade. I can tell the
right.
computer to do that. Like, I wish it
So
was that
easy.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish it was that easy, but it's not. That's why.
right.
That's why I'm sitting here talking in this microphone and not going anywhere near a front office in a major sport. But
Right.
this is just a big end of the year. You want to end the year strong, go into the play-in tournament strong, assuming you get there. It's still not a foregone conclusion that they get there. Just make that
Right.
perfectly
Yeah, yeah.
clear. Like nothing is a foregone conclusion. But,
Yeah.
you know, finish strong. If it means you go into the offseason strong, if it means you go into the play-in tournament strong, just end the regular season on a high note. That's all I ask. I don't ask for much.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And just don't give up, don't give in. You got to go out there and compete and play. And I feel like if they do that, they have enough to go into the play-in tournament and actually be the eighth seed and really give that one seed some issues and problems.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're 2 games back now. They can get there. I think they can absolutely get there, especially if they can beat Atlanta in that
Yeah,
game coming up. They can be that 8 seed, and
yeah,
that gives
yeah,
you
for
more of an
sure.
advantage. And going from there, I think any play and playoff experience is going to be huge down the road too for these younger guys. Your Kobe
Yeah,
Whites, your Iota Sumus, your Patrick Williams, even your Zach Levines. I think that can be huge. That's why I've been advocating don't tank this year. Get that experience. If it means you
yeah,
sacrifice a first round pick, make a move and go get one. Don't just
yeah,
sit there and go through the draft without, oh, hey, we're not going to have one. Too bad. Like,
yeah,
no, there's trade offs to that. But I think it
yeah,
can be
yeah.
good experience going forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every player wants to play in the playoffs. I think you rather be playing in the playoffs and playing a Memorial Day weekend instead of planning your vacation with your family or friends and stuff like that. So it's always better to be playing in the playoffs and being one of those teams playing in the playoffs and getting that experience.
Definitely. And, 6 games, finish strong. If you could be like Sacramento and end a playoff drought, go for it. I mean, the Kings will go
Yes,
around the association here to end. How about the Kings?
man.
16 years without a playoff appearance, and they go and they clinch the spot Wednesday night. What a story. Mike Brown, what a job.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Brown's doing a great job. I love him as a coach, a motivator, a leader. I think he's doing a great job. I'm all team Light the Beam. I watch their games all the time since on the West Coast and it's on TV. And like I said, I love their team. The team that they put together is just a great team. And I think they're going to make some noise in the playoffs.
I mean, you look at this, I'll call it their big three, I guess, because it's their 3 leading scorers. De'Aaron Fox, Mr. Clutch. Bulls fans have seen that firsthand.
Yeah,
Domantas Sabonis, I'm glad he's out of the Eastern Conference because what he did in Indiana, I don't want to say it was a waste in Indiana because that's too strong, but getting him out of there, I feel like it's taken his game to a new level, and he doesn't
yeah,
have to be the guy. He's got a De'Aaron Fox. There's Kevin Herter has emerged, as you can see why he
yeah,
wanted. Maybe Atlanta wasn't a good fit.
yeah,
Harrison Barnes is Harrison Barnes. He's still going to be a great veteran player. He's reliable.
yeah,
They've got these pieces.
yeah,
And you got a coach like Mike Brown with experience with the Warriors, really good team, and they're the 3 seed right now
yeah,
in the
yeah.
Western Conference. Just an amazing turnaround.
Yeah, Mike Brown's bringing that championship pedigree to him, to that team, to those young players, and I think one of the most important players that we didn't mention already is Malik Monk. The way he comes in off the bench and is aggressive, scoring, playmaking, gets out in transition. I love watching him play, and just love watching that whole team play.
I didn't get that far down the stat sheet with the leading scores. I
That's all
literally
right.
went
That's
down the
all
list of their
right.
leading scores.
All right.
Listen, I brought up in that order. You got Fox at 25 a game, Sabonis at 19, Herter, Barnes, and then Monk's right there. And Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
What is
Oh
Keegan
yeah.
Murray? He's got to be rookie of the year or at least close to it, right?
At
I mean,
least, yeah,
what
yeah,
a story. First of all, I mean, I covered him at Iowa last year. Like
yeah.
he set the record for points by a rookie.
Most,
Was it in Kings history or was it in NBA history?
I think I don't know one of the two, and I think he also set a record for most threes by
Yeah.
by a rookie also.
Yeah, that
So
one for sure. He's burst onto the scene this year. What a great
yeah,
player. He was one of those like I wish the Bulls could have had a chance at him. I knew they wouldn't. There was no
yeah, yeah,
way they were going to get a guy like that. But
yeah,
I watched him at Iowa last year. Like he's got a chance to be special, and
yeah,
he's proving to be that. That's the thing too. You got veteran guys in here, and you've got young guys. It's a really
yeah.
good blend that can set them up for the future. It's weird to be talking about that with the Kings, but
Right, yeah,
I mean
yeah. It's
it's
a good
the name
mix.
of the game.
Yeah, that's what you want, a good mix of young players, veteran players. You got your franchise cornerstone players in there, and seems like they're all gelling together. No egos and stuff like that. And everyone's just playing their role.
It helps that you have a coach in Mike Brown who has managed a bunch of big
Yeah,
personalities before. I mean,
yeah,
he wasn't the head coach, obviously, at Golden State, but he was like the top assistant, safe to say,
yeah,
because
yeah,
when Steve Kerr got
yeah,
COVID, I think Mike Brown stepped up and was the interim or the acting head coach. So he's
yeah,
been in rooms where you had Steph, Clay, Draymond. I mean, that seems like a good roster in terms of like the personality wise that he can
yeah,
manage that pretty easy. That's what I always liked about Phil Jackson too, was that he could manage
yeah,
all those
yeah.
personalities.
Yeah, yeah. Top to bottom, they got shooters. They got guys who are athletic, drive to the basket, a big man who can score and pass. So they got everything you need to be title contenders.
You want to talk about a team with personalities? Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Wow, the Mavericks. When that trade happened, remember I made that disclaimer. I'm really glad we did that. On
Yeah,
paper, Luka and Kyrie is the best backcourt in the NBA.
yeah,
Really glad we said on paper because they are in a downright free fall right
yeah,
now. And Kyrie called it a cluster blank. Keep it family friendly because now the Mavericks are out of the play-in tournament. They're the 11 seed in the West. Just what a collapse in
yeah.
Dallas.
This has been terrible. I think for me, it's just too much, one on one between Luca and Kyrie, and then everyone just standing around watching. And I feel like that's just a never a good motion for good ball movement or anything like that. And it's just going to cause all the players not to be in rhythm. And only two players are going to be in rhythm is Kyrie and Luca. So it's hard to play on the teams like that. I'm sure, and hopefully they can figure it out. But it doesn't look like they're going to figure it out anytime soon. They just got to get ready for next season.
Yeah, I mean, if they were in the play-in field, be like, okay, you can maybe get together, make a run at this thing.
Yeah,
But you're a game back of the 10 seed right now. I mean, Oklahoma City
yeah,
is the 10 seed. You got New Orleans there. The Lakers are tied for the 8 seed. Minnesota. The West has been jam packed all year. I mean, let's
yeah.
put it this way: Dallas is 4 games back of the Clippers for the 5 seed. That's how jam
Right.
packed things are right now in the
Yeah.
West. So they could easily, if they could just win a couple games and they'll be in the play-in. But like you said, it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. There's a lot going on down in
Yeah. Yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah. Too much going on. Maybe some internal stuff. Who knows? But I like OKC a lot. I like Minnesota. Both young teams. Both push the pace. Got long athletic defenders and long athletic guards. So I like both those teams. It's going to be interesting in the West. I think the West is going to be my favorite playoffs to watch instead of the East.
I agree with you 100%. We've talked about Oklahoma City too. That's one of the
Yeah.
most underrated teams in the league. I
Yeah.
think we talked about that when the Bulls played. I'm like, don't take them lightly. You got
Oh
Gildas
yeah.
Alexander. I really like Josh Giddey. Like
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Like they've got dudes and they can get a couple guys in the draft too. I know they've got draft picks galore for the next like 10
Yeah.
years, it seems like. I mean,
Yeah.
Sam Presti, man.
Sam, yeah, Sam Presti does a great job. I'm always admired him as a GM. He's my mentor from afar. I feel like he's always does a great job of constructing teams, trading guys, and still rebuilding, but not rebuilding, and just being competitive.
Definitely. And being competitive is huge. Like if you can balance both,
Yeah,
you're set. And that's what I'm hoping the Bulls can get to that point. Like you struggled this year. Find that balance. Like
yeah,
there's a balance there. Find it. You can be competitive and still add and subtract as needed. At win
yeah,
now mode, that ship has sailed. If you would have been the 6th seed this year, if you were out of the play-in and in the playoffs,
right.
sure, you can make a case, go add a couple and be in win now mode. I think win now mode is out the window. I think you got to look at this as kind of a retool, stay in that play-in playoff gray area, but
Yeah,
also you need to make moves. Like it needs to happen.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what the front office does, and see how they really reconstruct this roster to make it playoff ready and championship contenders. But we'll see. I guess when we get there this summer, see what they do and what moves they make.
And who knows when we'll be talking about that, because with the chances of the play-in looking more and more likely, I
Right.
mean, you got time here to reevaluate. You got a big decision coming on Kobe White, got a big decision
Yeah.
coming on Iota Sumu, big decision coming on Vooch, and another one on DeMar, because you've got a lot of uncertainty here.
Yeah.
This was your window, especially now with Lonzo being hurt for looking like all of next year. Your window has closed dramatically in the
Yeah.
last year. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of soul searching that's going to happen this offseason. That's going to be a bigger conversation once we're done talking about like the play-in tournament stuff. Because like I keep saying, there's still 6 games left. Regular season's
Yeah.
still going. 76 games in. What a weird year. And that's going to be
Yeah.
something I'm going to say for a while. What a weird
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, a roller coaster year, up and down year. At times they look great, and then other times they look like the rebuilding bulls that we don't want to see. But it's it's definitely they can all put all that to end and really come out these last 6 games and try to go in the play-in tournament and just silence all the haters.
You're about to enter a whole new season. When you get to the
Yeah,
play-in, get to the playoffs, it's a new year. The regular season doesn't matter.
yeah,
That's
anybody's game.
definitely that's why I like about the NCAA tournament. It's anybody. It's
Yeah,
regular season does not matter. Yes, it impacts seeding and who you play, but everybody's 0-0 when the playoffs come around.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
go get hot and make a run and
yeah.
stay on a run. Don't do this fake a run and win 2 games and then show up uninspired the next 2 games. Like, no, get hot and stay hot. That's the sustainability.
Yeah, you can't do that in the playoffs because it's a 4 game series, so you got to win 4 games. So you can't be sometimes the half the games, the other half want to win. So hopefully they can come out focused and just like I said, get four good wins, and they'll be on their way.
And because of the way the season's gone, you don't have to win 4 in a row. You can go
Right,
3-1 and then win one because they still have not won 4 games in a row this year. You can win
right,
3 and lose one if that's what you want to do. When you get to
right.
the best of 7, that's fine. Like, it's whatever works
Keep
for
it
you.
interesting.
But I would prefer to if they can get one 4-game win streak in these last 6 games, I'd be happy to
Yeah,
finally
that'd be
get that
nice.
monkey off the back.
Yeah, be playing with some confidence, going in to end the season, playing the best brand of basketball.
Be very curious to see the stat on that. How many teams have made the playoffs without a 4-game winning streak? I don't
Be
know how you
interesting. Yeah,
count that, if there's a way to count that, but that is just I say weird year. It's the best way to describe it. It's just been weird,
yeah.
odd, annoying, frustrating. Other words I can't say on the air. Like, I mean, I'm gonna pull my hair out again. Like, it's just
Yeah, very
whatever.
very up and down season for the
Yeah,
Bulls.
and end the year on up, please. Like,
Right,
don't
be
do this again.
consistent.
Yeah, like, play inspired basketball and please have
Yeah,
your point guard score points after he's talking trash.
talking trash. Right, yeah.
Still
Be the
love you, Pat
greatest
Bev.
player ever.
I still love Pat Bev. I stand by it. I want them to bring him back next year. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they should, but part of me wants that to happen.
Yeah,
It's just bad time to have a bad game. I
right.
mean,
Yeah, very bad. Yeah.
yeah, there's no other way to put it. But we're gonna put a bow on today's episode of Believe in Bulls here on the Believe Network, presented by, as always, our friends at BetOnline.ag. Use that promo code BLEAV. Baseball season is underway, and I will put the disclaimer out there. I did enjoy recording the podcast today, despite what my shirt says. I'd always rather be a Wrigley. I mean, you saw the coffee cup too, right? Yeah, I'm repping opening day, man. I mean, I'm ready to be disappointed again, but
Right.
but you
Hey,
could disappointed my bet slip too. Bet online, 50% welcome bonus to help with that. Also, shop.believe.com. Buy your shirt, Jordan Pippen 98, The Last Stand. Again, there's a lot of great stuff there as well. CJ, we are getting very, very close to something at the end of 82
yeah,
games. If it's the play-in tournament, if it's the offseason, something's coming. But we're gonna have a lot
yeah.
more fun conversations along the way.
The weather's getting better. This is a great time for playoff basketball. I'm excited for
Yeah, in Illinois right now, as we're recording, it's a nice balmy 53 degrees according to my account, and that's going to
it.
get even higher. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for it to get warm and go play golf and
Yeah.
be hating golf after the first hole again. But we'll see everyone back here on Tuesday. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy the Final Four this weekend as well.